I thought it's something else, but
That's the excuse we're going to give.
yeah. So anyway, we are live right now. We're live because we actually have some serious weather coming across the southern United States now, south, if you will, of the Arklatex, south of the Tennessee valley here. At least the heart of it is. I mean, there's a chance anywhere you see the yellows there into the screen, there is a chance for slight risk for thunderstorms. There's an enhanced risk too there, Brett, that's in the orange coloring. And why is that?
Well, we've got increasing wind shear that's coming into the environment this afternoon. We've been very, very warm. This has been an unusual June-like pattern. This has actually been more like early May over the last couple of weeks. We've been dealing with some flow aloft that has come across the region in cooler air. And believe it or not, we may have set some records over the last couple of days for hail size across portions of Mississippi. I know I've seen stones over 5 inches in diameter up around Brooksville that the National Weather Service is working to verify. But again, now we're going into nightfall. We've got a little bit of an increasing low-level jet boundary sitting in place in the low levels, and it is allowing for us to get very good low-level shear for this time of the year. We look for 0 to 1 values over 200 any time of the year, and we're talking 200, 300, 400, effectively even 500 over portions of Mississippi and western Alabama right now, where we actually have active tornado warnings just east of the Jackson metro area.
Yeah, why don't you talk about those? We got a couple of them here that are pretty active. And again, this is somewhat unheard of. I was telling people around me about a month ago, y'all just wait till June the 1st and it'll all be over with. And boy, do I look like a liar.
Well, that is typically what we look for. Really, June 1 is kind of our period where we're going to go into more of pop-up thunderstorm season. We see the jet stream shift up toward the north, toward the Canadian provinces, and then the northern plains start dealing with severe and active weather. Well, we've transitioned. A lot of people have probably heard of the phrase La Nina and El Nino lately. We just transitioned out of a La Nina phase, and we're starting to go into El Nino, which typically brings that secondary branch of the jet stream and makes it more active down south. Now, that typically brings us, a wetter than normal pattern as we go into the fall, the winter of that year. And sometimes it detours hurricanes from coming into the Gulf of Mexico because we've got such enhanced wind shear there. This time, we're actually seeing that jet stream set up across the southern plains and into the southeast. So we're seeing kind of a hybrid severe weather season here, at least over the last week or so, where we've just dealt with unusual supercell type thunderstorms that are not pop-ups, but they're actually lasting a while. And that's what we've got tonight. Tonight might actually be the peak of this, because we have instability values well over 4,000 down there, which is pretty extreme for any time of the year. And we also have, again, wind shear, which is typically that piece that we're lacking.
Yeah, let's see if I can really quickly here call up some of the Cape values here, because I know it is it's pretty high across all of this area here and has been for some time. But if you look at it right now, the most let's see, sitting in base Cape. And there are your higher values, especially back into Mississippi on the western side of I-55, if you will. Now, that's a tornado emergency, is it not? The black right here, tornado warning.
Let me take a look and see what we've got. Right now, it looks like it's just radar indicated. I will tell you this, of an area of concern that I have currently is just east of the radar site there in Brandon, what looks to be a possible ball forming within the hook. This reminds me of the Georgia tornadoes a couple of days ago. They're forming right there on that rear flank, and you can see that ball right there just east of the city of Brandon, where you've got lightning out in front of it in that clear air inflow region. That's typically a sign of problems to come. And I'm looking at the velocity. Yeah, the velocities there east of Brandon are really showing that around US 80, just north of I-20 there. That is a sparsely populated area there. Along portions of the airport is just to the west of the radar there. So US 80, Andrew Chapel Road, up in that area, this storm is moving in your direction. It's developed rather quickly, and it is tornado warned at this point in time. A tornado could form at any point in time if it's not already on the ground. I don't see evidence, I guess, of correlation coefficient, which would be debris, but there is a very strong signal right there along US 80, just east of Page McDill Road, McDonald Lane. It's headed toward Chapel Hills Lane and moving into the city of Rankin at this time.
Coming in on the west end side of the Bienville National Forest there, just south of I-20, and a lot of folks watching that area. A couple of things you can see, I mean, right off the bat, if you just only have the radar, is that these are very mature storms. They're somewhat elongated. When they go up into the atmosphere, you're seeing these tops that are blowing off here. You're already seeing a couple of what we'd call flying eagle sort of situations where we do have large hail that's up going inside of this as well, very close to the apex of where everything is going on. And around the hail, the lift where the hail is, we're creating low pressure on both sides of it, which is bringing a little bit of a tailspin back into this, which makes it look like a little bit of a V-notch, if you will, coming back into the storm at the moment. We've had that off and on in a couple of these storms, just meaning that they're very mature storms already that are occurring. You can see these in a few of these that have already popped up. You don't have to have anything else other than just the radar data to tell you that. But the blow-off is quite extensive there into the area there, too. And some high winds are associated with this. Again, that's Jackson, Mississippi that you're looking at there at the moment. And it's all going off to the east, south, and east, over toward Meridian into Laurel, Mississippi, Hattiesburg later on this evening, coming into Columbus, then into western Alabama later on tonight, which is one of the reasons, Brett and I both being Alabamians, so we thought we got family over here, and we thought we'd pop on tonight and sort of help out with that situation as far as with everything coming in. Another tornado warning, not to forget anybody, up here into Tennessee now. This is near LaGrange coming in. This is where it gets hilly up here, just south of I-40 in Somerville, coming into Oakland. This is into the hilly part of western sections of Tennessee near Bolivar, and that is going to be a tornado-warned storm there. Let me go to the correct radar to show you. Quite a bit of lightning associated with that, too, and then you can put any velocity data on there that shows you. It's not gate to gate at this point, but it's still the possibility there for something to happen pretty quickly, and the Weather Service is probably going to err on the side of caution here this evening, Brad, as we move along through this, because we do know that we have the upper-level support for any of this stuff to spin up pretty quick.
I totally agree. Just want to give our producer Brandon a note. Brandon, in our chat, I've got Brandon Clement's live stream link. If we could possibly load up a panel to have that in, I'm watching him live right now. A lot of lightning there where he's at across central Mississippi. So we're actually going to have some live video feeds from the field tonight, even though I'm not out. If things get really out of hand, I may jump and head that way if we start seeing reports of damage. But as David said, we're in studio tonight, thought this was an appropriate time to get on here and keep you guys abreast of the situation. But we're watching all of the weather sources here as we're watching this situation unfold. We got another storm south of Brandon, south of the radar site, that is developing a very strong hook echo near the city of Florence. That is possibly going to be a problem as well. Another hook echo there south of Pelahatchie. So all these areas of concern have really rapidly formed over the last 15 to 20 minutes where we have active tornado warnings in place. I'm also keeping an eye here on the National Weather Service chat. And if I see anything, David, I'll also throw that out there.
Yeah, look at that on 49 there, coming into Florence. A decent little hook already occurring there on the high-res reflectivity. Let me see if the velocity data has anything to go with it. And there is some inbound and outbound there. There's some differing in direction with what you do see just to the southwest of 49. That's US 49, County Road 449, coming in on the south-hand side. We do have a box there that is a tornado warning. That's got 1 3/4 sized hail associated with it. Goes for the next 51 minutes for Rankin and Simpson counties. Goes until 10 p.m. tonight, folks. Golf ball sized hail. That's the other anomaly here that you don't often hear about for the deep south, the deep southern United States, although I've seen it as far south as the Florida Panhandle here over the last 2 weeks. It's one of those situations where everything's kind of rare. You got hail where it doesn't normally show up. Dogs and cats living together from time to time. It's just the weirdest stuff that you will ever see taking place. And so we're watching it all very closely to see where everything is going to go in this a whole situation, because you can't blow it off because it is June the 1st, even though, Brad, June the 1st, and we got something hanging out there about midway into the Atlantic, too, that will be falling for a while.
Yeah, I noticed this evening we've got two areas of concern. One that's a code red out in the Atlantic Basin this evening. Let's see. And another one actually right behind it, David, right on its heels. You've got a 20% chance and then a 90-90 over the central Atlantic, continuing to become better organized. It looks like that may end up being a fish storm, which is typically what we see in an El Nino year. Not sold on that just yet. We're a long ways out, so we're going to keep watching that as we go through time. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a concern down the road for the Caribbean and possibly the Gulf of Mexico, especially in the Western Atlantic. But right now, our main concern is this threat area, especially across central Mississippi. It looks like we've lost our tornado warnings over across Arkansas. Storms have weakened back there near Crossett. The one that is crossed down and crossing into Louisiana near Homer, headed toward Ruston and Monroe, is severe thunderstorm warned for winds of 60 miles an hour and hail of 1.25 inches in diameter. So at least we're not dealing with tornadoes back there, but the air is very juicy, extremely muggy this time of the year. And with the wind shear in place, we are concerned about the possibility of tornadoes. And David, I actually want to turn your attention to something very specific now. If you could zoom in on the storm there near Florence, it's about to cross 49. We have tornado debris now. It looks like that is being picked up by the Weather Service radar. If you look at reflectivity there, you can see a definite debris ball-looking structure over Seventh Day Road, about to cross 49, headed toward Kitchens Road.
Yeah.
You've got a very blatant area just southeast of downtown, and that is a pretty populated area there. It's going to move up toward Thomasville. Again, it's going to cross Star Road. This area is very tornado prone, seeing many tornado tracks over this region through time. And again, you need to be in your place of shelter. We got a tornado observed tag on this now over Florence, moving east at 25 miles per hour.
So tell us about the ball. Now, you and I know what the ball is, but explain that to the average viewer, because it did just come out in one scan there. It's not in several scans. It came out in the one there finally. But tell everybody what they're seeing.
So what you're looking at there on the screen, you see that area where the hook echo is located. You can see that there's a bright ball there. What you're actually looking at is the tornado with the tornado debris there. So typically what we're watching is hydrometers or raindrops or hail when we're watching the radar. But when you get a hook echo like this and it's co-located with a spinning environment, the helicity there is getting stretched from the ground up. That's actually some sort of debris, whether it be tree leaves, whether it be trees, parts of homes, vehicles. That is an actual tornado that you're looking there live. That is crazy to see pop out that quick in that one scan.
Yeah. And it's very hard to discern. Now, you're looking at the correlation coefficient, which makes it difficult. You can see the anomaly there just south of the word Florence. There is a void, if you will, of color that shows up right there. So it's sort of the same thing, but this gets a little bit more difficult to be able to see and discern and decide what you're looking at. But no way about this. This is a ball that is out there, and it's being detected by the radar site. And again, you're looking very closely to the radar, as Brett was saying, the actual radar site. So this is low to the ground. This is actually happening here, and I'm sure people are seeing this. There are visual confirmations.
Yeah, I think Brandon Clement just had it go in front of him. He's in Florence right now. But Jarvis, if you are here, there you go. I just saw what looked like some power flashes there. That is 49 that Brandon is traveling on right now in Florence, Mississippi. So he has a bird's eye view of what this storm is doing. We're going to stay with this feed for just a few moments. Let's see. Looks like it's getting very windy there. I can't tell if Brandon is approaching from the north or the south. I'm assuming he's driving south down 49 there, but it's looking very, very impressive to say the least. That wind was really picking up there as it went across, but you can see a lot of the areas still have some power there. So that's good news. That's a very good sign that the areas still have power right now across the region. I'm going to shift on my end here back toward the radar and take a look at this thing, see if the Weather Service has any other information coming across currently. Oh boy, that picked up quickly. Guys, I know we've got a lot of people watching the stream here. If you've got anything interesting, this is actually Florence, Mississippi. This is just south of Jackson, the city of Jackson. They're on Highway 49. We're following along with Brandon Clement. You can see tornado warning there, Rankin County, until 10 o'clock. That area is under a tornado warning until 10 p.m. local time. Jarvis, I don't know if I can hear you in my ear. Do you have control of the radar where we can shift back to the radar for just a minute so that we can look at that storm? That is the storm that you're looking at right there, southeast of Jackson. The Hook Echoes crossing 49 right now. I'm going to shift over here on my end and look at some correlation coefficient. There is a spot of CC there. Is showing up just south of Rolling Hill Road. It's headed toward McCullough-McLean Road. Going to go just to the north of Kitchens Road, it looks like. If you're anywhere in that area from Williams Road to the east, over toward Thomasville Road, in the city of Florence on the eastern side of 49, you need to be in your place of shelter immediately. This tornado may have cycled down a little bit, but it looks like it's trying to reorganize. That hook still looks really, really good at this point, and it continues to move to the east across Rankin County with an observed tornado per the National Weather Service. I'm still watching Brandon's feed here in the office. If I see something interesting, Brandon, I'm going to hit you and tell you to go right back to it. I don't see anything at this moment that looks like any damage, but that storm definitely has the look of what we're going to see tonight if we deal with any tornadic activity. Again, tornado watches up for the entire area from central Mississippi, eastern Mississippi to the Alabama border until 1 a.m., so we are under tornado watch until that time, and this particular warning is in effect until 10. Let's see. We're going to shift gears here. Yeah, that storm literally is crossing McCullough-McLean Road right now, McLean Circle. It's going to move toward Thomasville Road, somewhere near the intersection of Neely Drive. Up in that area, if you're in that vicinity, that tornado is just to your southwest and approaching pretty rapidly, 25, 30 miles an hour. It doesn't seem that quick, but we've got huge debris now showing up on our CC product. Very tight gate-to-gate couplet. David, if we can zoom in there on that Florence storm, and if we can go to the velocities there, you can see we have a definite tornado right there crossing McCullough-McLean Road. Very tight circulation. Weather Service is confirming observed tornado. This continues to move off toward the east. If you're on Bradley Lane, McLean Circle, you should be in your place of shelter right now. This tornado is actually moving over top of you at this point. The next major roads that will be impacted are going to be Thomasville Road and Star Road here soon. It's headed toward the community of Thomasville pretty quickly. So you need to be in your place of shelter as this storm continues to move in your direction. We don't want to ignore any of the other tornadic activity ongoing. There is currently another tornado warning right now that is in effect for portions of East Rankin County, northwestern Smith, and southwestern Scott counties. That particular circulation doesn't look as good at this point in time up near Crossroads. It's just south of Pelahatchie. It's moving toward the east generally, and there's another circulation up near Morton. Those could drop smaller tornadoes at any point in time. So if you're under that warning, you need to take it seriously and seek shelter. But the main show currently is just east of the city of Florence. That is where we have a debris signature with a debris ball showing up on the radar currently. Again, potentially a major tornado just east of US 49 moving toward the community of Thomasville, Dave.
Yeah, still watching what's happening up into Memphis. It's just to the east of Memphis, too, along the linear part of this, coming out of Whiteville Boulevard up there in Tennessee. There is a tornado warning still exists here for the next 10 minutes. They got about 3/4 inch size hail, but a tornado 60-mile-per-hour winds near LaGrange, 18 miles to the southwest of Boulevard, is still being detected across this area. It's capable of producing a tornado anyway. That's going to be moving on eastward across the southern sections of the state over to Bethel Springs, Selmer, and into that area near Savannah, coming into Fayette County. The lower sections of both of those counties, but moving away from the city. And other thunderstorms off to the north, too, but these down here to the south have the dynamics that go along with them. So they're the ones that are producing most of what you've got. A quick stop here at the GWX radar shows a lot of thunderstorms here, but they're kind of broken up. They still have that little curvature, though, that little kidney bean kind of thing that we're looking at. That one near Okolona and the other one near Houston. It's moving on to the east near West Point down to Columbus. A lot of lightning being detected here, and then back into the tornado concerned area here that's just off to the south. And you just don't get too often, you don't get this kind of a situation. We have 3 distinct cells there that all look big, bad, and ugly. And now there is a brand new this is going to be just a little bit of a flash flood sort of a situation graphic here that just tells us what we already know. I get it. We're worried about rainfall, but we're also worried about tornadoes, and that's going to be just a quick little hit there. That was a new update from them, from the water people.
Yeah, I saw that, David. Again, to reiterate, this is a unprecedented event. I'm not going to say that this is going to be a historical event by all means in terms of the type of tornadoes that we see here, but there's a possibility to deal with a couple of strong tornadoes tonight across this region, and this is not typical for June, not typical at all. The storm, Brandon Clement is still on the storm. I'm watching his feed right now. Looks like he had a broken sign or something in front of him that he just kind of passed there. Lots of lightning. You can see all kinds of lightning there ongoing on the feed. That is because we have such high instability in the atmosphere right now.
Tons of it. It's just
very
frequent there, and especially around the center of the rotation, especially around where we think we have an actual tornado occurring right there, which study after study after study has been done about that.
And he's so close.
Tornadoes being so close to a circulation.
And he is so close to the circulation at this point. Again, he was on 49 there. He says it was not on the ground as it crossed 49. So maybe it touched down just to the east of 49.
All right.
Let's see. Looks like his road was also closed, that he was going down there trying to catch up with that storm. So I'll tell you what, let's shift back to the radar right now so that we can talk about some of these communities in the path of this tornado. We still got a very strong circulation there just to the west of Thomasville. It looks like we've got that circulation to the north developing a little bit better too. Recent scans there up near that Crossroads community. So that area needs to be paying attention. You're under a tornado warning for the next 37 minutes or so. It's going to move toward Cooperville, cross 13 there, possibly just north of Polkville, but it's going to be in that vicinity over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. But again, our main show here is going north of the community of Star. It's going to go right through Thomasville. I would assume if we have a tornado on the ground, we're going to know about it pretty soon. Looks like it's lost a little bit of its organization, and you even see something there, Dave. You see that little blip of reflectivity that popped up down there east of Star. I wonder if the updraft's doing a bit of a handoff down there, and we're going to see something form down there on that flank.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I would say there's a little bit of a handoff going on here. It's still 2 massive cells though, and a third one actually up here that could do just about anything up near Lena and just to the west of Walnut Grove. But three very distinctive supercells there that are very, very large. Maybe the middle one is taking over the most robust part of this. This is sadly, too, because this is right on I-20 at the moment where people are trying to travel. You got a hook echo going on right there. You got a very well-formed storm. You've also probably got, let me just look real quick, VIL is going to show you where the hail is, and we've had large hail already being part of this whole last 2 weeks, really, in portions of the south and east that it just doesn't normally happen like this. And some of it, it's really, really large stuff. I saw some of the stuff that, Brett, you had a couple of days ago. I think I was out in Texas. But nonetheless, it's a time of weirdness going on. Blame it on a Nina if you want to, one or the other. I don't care who you blame it on. But blame it on the Mets, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Honestly, what's interesting to me, I'm just now looking at some mesoanalysis data. We've got our low level jet increasing right now. We're up to 30 to 35 knots, which is a little strong for this time of the year. Typically, it's very weak, so we see these storms pulse up and then they'll come down. And we typically deal with damaging winds and some small hail this time of the year. When you've got wind shear and all this instability, these storms can go up and they get vented. So it allows them to breathe. They don't choke themselves off and just die. They can breathe and they can go on for quite a while. It's very unusual to see supercell thunderstorms like this across portions of the deep south. I'll tell you what, Dave, if you want to zoom out a little bit, run a loop of the radar. I'm going to show you an interesting feature that's actually, in my opinion, caused some of this tornadic circulation to take place. Let's see if you can see it on your end there. Do you see the outflow boundary that came up from the south and ingested in these things? It may be available there. You may not have the colors that you need to see it. I don't know.
See what I got here with the scope.
You can get on Jackson, and if you can run at about 35 frames or so, you're going to see an outflow boundary that it just eats. Probably not. You may not have enough frames there. It's okay. But there's an outflow boundary that interjected into the storms that are now tornado warned earlier, and definitely caused these storms to intensify somewhat, I do believe. Let's see here. Looking to see if we still have an observed tornado. As of right now, still saying a tornado is located over Star, confirmed, moving east at 25 as of 9:21, which is 6 minutes ago. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Let's see what else we got going on here. Tornado watch until 1 a.m. We've got no, that is the original watch. Let me see if we have a second watch that has been issued yet. I know there's been a discussion about it. Oh, we have a severe thunderstorm watch over portions of southern Arkansas and northwest Louisiana that's in effect until 1 a.m. as well. That's probably the latest watch box that I see that's out there. We do not have a prelim on any new watches, but there is a mesoscale discussion for western Alabama with a possibility of a tornado watch if these storms can continue to hold up as they move into the state this evening. Honestly, it's been very warm over here. There's a little bit of what they call sin or inhibition, and they're monitoring to see if the storms are going to be able to make it as they move into that inhibition. But we now have warnings across portions of Lamar and Fayette County in Alabama, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the next 32 minutes until 10 p.m. for large hail and wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. So we're going to be watching for storms now moving toward the Birmingham metro area. And we do have some wind shear over here. Everything's going to increase as these storms shift to the east. So we're going to have to watch for the potential for problems. It looks like we got some damage here on Brandon Stream. Let me see if I can get a locator on where he is at. But we do have some damage.
Well, my watch
Thomas
just came in Spanish. Is that the new watch or the old one?
If a watch just came in,
it's for Alabama.
It's for Alabama. That's a new watch. Then
Yeah.
I don't have it yet.
That is
I don't know if it's a severe watch.
Tornado.
Let's see.
There's roughly I-65 to the west.
Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, weather watch 3:37, tornado watch in effect until 2 a.m. A couple tornadoes, gust to 70 and hail to 1.5 inches. So, tornado watch just freshly issued. Actually, I got it a minute early. It says 9:30. It's 9:29. So they got that out quickly. And yep, it runs. Actually, it runs from Tuscaloosa, Bibb, Chilton, and Coosa County, or no, Chilton. Not, excuse me. It runs from Tuscaloosa, Bibb, Chilton, and Autauga County back to the south and west, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Unless that's a different watch.
No, I think it's it.
Let's see. I thought it said Tennessee was included in the watch box that they put out too there. Huh. I got you. Okay. I see the Western Tennessee counties there included. That's the first watch, though. I'm trying to see what the deal is here with the second watch box that just came out. Anyway, regardless, we have a watch for far southeast Mississippi, West Alabama, and southern middle Tennessee. So there's going to be an additional watch box that pops up there here in just a few minutes. You may have to change your source there to Inoa and then whatever else, because we can see all that on the screen as you're doing it. I got you. It hasn't popped up yet. It'll populate because it's literally just now coming across a wire. Anyway, let's get back to what looks to be a problem now developing there. We talked about Cooperville earlier, guys. You remember Cooperville? We may have something really bad developing there. Oh, wow. Look at that hook echo there just south of 20. It's moving toward 13 right there at Polkville. One of my good friends lives down there, Gary Schmidt. Used to do a lot of storm chasing. That is not a good look on velocity there. I don't see any CC yet, but that's a very bad velocity look. Let's see. I'm going to check on him while we sit here. Trying to see if we got any further information here as well. Let's see into this chat.
There we go.
Let's see. Oh, come on.
Get rid of some of this.
Guys, if you got anything, I'm watching our stream chat with all the viewers here. If you guys have anything that you can throw in there, if you see any links, throw them across. We'll make sure that we pass all the information along. We're trying to do everything we can. Want to include everybody that we can as well in helping us with this situation. That storm over Cooperville, that is not a good look at all. That it doesn't have CC yet, but it is certainly trying to wrap up in there. That storm to the south could be the one thing that kind of hurts it some, David. You see these storms, they do have some separation, but the forward flanks of these storms could be causing some issues there as they continue to move across the region.
A little bit, but the one thing that I was looking at is if you look at all the information ahead of each one of these cells, everything has either a wind out of the east, moving east-northwest. I mean, if it's being fed, it's kind of being fed parallel to the plume.
Right.
And so it's not really, I don't think it's just being cut off like it was a southwesterly wind, trying to feed all these. It looks like it's feeding them all. But the dominant storm again, this thing south of Morton, I mean, look how that thing just blossomed again. And I mean, it's a big, ugly, just nasty kind of a thing coming in right there. It's got everything that you would look at when you start talking about it. Look at this.
Yep. Very, very intense sheer there. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
mean, we're
that
looking
looks
at
like that
over,
would be.
I think that's going to be like 80, 76, 80.
Yeah.
The inbound and the out, the two varying directions, though, that's a down burst there, but the two varying directions are showing up, not too far away from each other there as well. The
Right.
verdigris, the VIL here is still pretty high. So we know we're going to have some large L, though it looks like it's even larger up here. The VIL goes off of the chart. The vertically integrated liquid part of this goes off the chart. So that's going to be super large hail there as well, and that's going to be near Midway, in between Walnut Grove and Midway, and the Barnett Reservoir there.
It sounds like public spotters are reporting. It's confirmed on the ground headed toward Highway 13. Fire EMS are being pre-stationed and relocated for storm mode response. Thanks for that. That was from B. Dean Barry giving us some information here so that we can pass that along to you. Let's see what else we can find. That's a very ominous looking signature there. I don't see anything that indicates that we have a strong tornado on the ground at the moment, but that is very ominous, and we could see something go pretty crazy pretty quickly based on what we're seeing off of that radar signature there. So,
and again, not to forget, still a tornado up here, a tornado warning, if you will, just to the south and east of Memphis, coming into the northern side. This is up Highway 72 there, just to the west of Iuka and Corinth. As you come in on that side of 72, coming in right parallel to the border between Tennessee and northern Mississippi. Brett, I know you travel that road many times. They should name that Highway 72, the Brett Adair Highway. And that goes down, to the south there. This thing is paralleling the area there, and the possibility of a tornado. Salisbury is what they're saying. Let's see if we can find any kind of velocity. Yeah, look at this thing winding up right there.
Yeah, that's one of those tornadoes right there. They can get nasty pretty quick too. That's let's see. Let me get some information on that, David. It's not confirmed, at least at the moment. Benton, Tippah, and Hardeman counties, southern Hardeman County, northern Benton, northern Tippah County is in the tornado warning there. South of Grand Junction.
Let me tell you why it might not be confirmed. Because ain't
probably
nobody up there.
There's nothing for it to hit.
I've been there a gazillion times. We used to rabbit hunt there when I was a kid. There is nothing up there, so you'd have to hit a structure or hit near somebody, which is great news. It's not a highly populated area up there at all, but sadly, I think this thing's already beginning to. You can see it spinning. It's rotating. It's got the rear flank there is coming out pretty good and strong here at the moment too. But that's one of those that could wrap up and you go, oh my God.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about this is if you run the loop of the radar, it's actually just now beginning to tighten the cyclonic circulation. It's moving generally toward the city of Walnut there. It's going to be interesting to see if it makes it or if it crosses the highway prior to that. And it's very wrapped up in what looks to be rain there. That is not going to be something that's going to be easily seen until it hits you.
No.
It looks like a boundary right there is wrapped right in on that inflow region.
Totally.
And you see what I'm saying? It's really wrapping up there, and it's completely rain wrapped at this point in time. So we'll see if that ends up doing anything. I tell you what's getting concerning too down here, Dave. There's more storms developing behind these in the Mississippi River Delta, and then the one over southern Fayette County and northern Tuscaloosa County is also looking really gnarly aloft. So I'm concerned that we're going to deal with problems. We got a lot of instability out there that just isn't going to go away really quickly.
Let's kind of look at the model here, and I know it's the HER, and the HER's not our friend these days, but so there's the glob there, right at midnight tonight, I guess that would be. Midnight along I-55, moving on to the east.
Yep. Let's go back to radar, David. We got a serious situation there. We've got east side of Cooperville crossing 13. We've got what looks to be that's 100% a debris signature there, about to cross 13. Very intense velocities. Couplet is now in place right there. It is going to be east of Cooperville Road, south of Stewart Road, moving toward Highway 13. Should be crossing 13 right now. It's going to cross 13 and go over toward, it looks like Springfield Road. You're next in line. Going to go on the south side of the community of Stage and over toward Pulaski. But Cooperville, right now, you should be in your place of safety. We talked about this just 15, 20 minutes ago, that these storms can quickly produce with the environment in place. It's not going to take long. Once they wrap around just a little bit, they can quickly produce tornadoes. And unfortunately, I believe that's what's happening right now, David. I'm looking at velocity. Yeah, we got a CC signature there, pretty deep CC spike at that on that storm now.
Let's see. Let me get to that real quick. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Let me cut a few frames here.
Yeah, it's definitely looking more serious at the moment. That's a problem. Brandon is going to try to get on 20 and cross over. See that big blow up of the blue CC there? That is co-located with that hook. Not good news. Not good news.
So yeah, you got a lot of It's totally just weird to be talking about this. First of all, we'll get on to it. It is observed now. They do say.
I'm looking at the video of a stovepipe tornado near south of Pelahatchie, crossing the highway there. I'm looking at video of it. So yeah, it's on the ground.
Now we're looking at two different storms. Are there two confirmations now?
That let's see,
because I got a star one there just a minute ago.
All right, the star one is a southern storm. This one, the storm we're talking about, is the storm south of Pelahatchie in the northern warning. That is the confirmed. And I'm looking at video of this tornado as it's crossing 13, so it is on the ground 100%. Just saw it. Gonna throw a video. We can't use it right now, but I'm gonna copy the link to it and show that it's down. See there.
Somebody mentioned Bibb County. Don't worry about Bibb County at the moment. We're a long way from getting to Bibb County.
Yeah. Bibb County is a long way down the line, guys.
We'll talk about it as we move along. I want to make sure that we keep everybody up to date. Bibb County is not in trouble at the moment here. Right. We're looking back into Mississippi, the heart of the storms in Mississippi. We do have other thunderstorms of note that we're watching all across the area here that have still been producing anything from large hail to the likelihood of a tornado or two having popped. We got severe thunderstorm warnings to go way back into Ruston, Arkansas. El Dorado, Ruston, Louisiana, and El Dorado, Arkansas coming in. We've got 79 over 77 with our dew points that are crazy, crazy high. 79 over 77. We got 76. So Birmingham still sitting there at 70 degrees for a dew point. And Tupelo's at 77 over 69. It's a warm, muggy night out there tonight. But the tornado warnings that you do see are valid. These aren't hit or miss, gimme kind of things. These are not to save myself from, not getting out the word. These are legit. And this one in particular coming into the Bienville National Forest is an observed tornado warning now from the National Weather Service office. Confirmed tornado located near Polkville or 8 miles to the southwest of Morton. It's moving east at 25, a damaging tornado. Golf ball size hail, insult to injury, but weather spotters are all over this. Moving into Morton at 9:40, 9:50 into Pulaski and Homewood around 10:05. Our estimated times of arrival. The storm down to the south is radar indicated as a tornado. Golf ball size hail here as well. Near Cato, 10 miles to the north of Mendenhall. It's moving east at 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, David, I'm looking, continuing to watch. There's a little bit of a merger taking place down there. I think that's kind of giving these storms problems. They can't get out on their own right now, and we're seeing, storms or showers impede the flanks. It looks like that tornado may have literally already lifted after getting that observed tag. It looks like that it may have already lifted there north of Polkville, Mississippi. That was the tornado that went over the community there of Cooperville. It had a very good looking debris signature there as it was crossing 13. I've seen video of this tornado. on Twitter just a few moments ago. So that was something. I'm going to throw that in the chat for our viewers so that you guys can have a look at that as well. But that shows you how quickly these storms can really get their act together and go tornadic. There's a lot of spin in the atmosphere, tons of instability. So instability is not a problem. Matter of fact, there may be too much instability. We're seeing these storms go up, and again, as I mentioned, in the flanks, it's like a new storm will go up, and what that does is it kind of impedes their inflow in ways. And you can get a tornado that goes down, but it may not last very long. But it could be strong right out of the gate because we've got such extreme parameter spacing out there tonight, David.
All up and down the line. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, too. Well, back to the west. We're not really forgetting about any of those. There is a severe thunderstorm warning over here into Greenville, right on the Mississippi River here, if you will. Leland and Greenville for 1-inch size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. The National Weather Service has that out for the next... that's going to be till 9:39 for central Washington County, and that's a storm, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail with that one. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. Another one back to the west here for 60-mile-per-hour winds that expires in 60 minutes. Union, Claiborne, and also Lincoln County Parish. Excuse me, not County Parish. That would be Union Parish, Claiborne Parish, and also Lincoln Parish till 10:45. Coming out of the Shreveport office, though, those are southern parishes. They're moving to the east at about 20 miles per hour. Pretty big area there. Let me see if I can find the better radar to get a better look at what's happening here. And that's going to be moving off to the southeast toward Monroe, Louisiana, right there on I-20, coming out of Minden and Homer, and moving in and to the south towards Sterlington and into Monroe, Louisiana as we go through the next little while. That thing got just tons. It's eaten alive with lightning, cloud-to-ground lightning.
Yes.
You'll see tons of it.
Yeah, I see tons of lightning. Tons of lightning. Trying to get some information from Brandon, who's out there in the field. I bet that storm there that's north of Ruston, north of Monroe, I bet that thing is just beautiful in terms of its storm structure.
Don't you know?
And it's out there in the wide open. You could see it. But see, look, there's some pretty intense wind going on. We're going to have to watch that area, too. As the low-level jet increases, we're going to have to watch that area to see if we start seeing those storms go into low-level rotation and possibly go into to tornado genesis as well as they continue to move toward the east generally and even east-southeast. So it's pretty interesting.
So we got 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings here at the moment. They just issued a brand new tornado warning for Pulaski again. I think this is going to be a little further up the road, though. This is Pulaski there in the central sections of Mississippi here. I think they just kind of moved that along. That's going to be this one near the Bienville National Forest there on I-20. South of Morton. National Weather Service has this as a tornado warning storm. Again, we'll put the radar back on there to show you. These are outflow boundaries now, folks. These are more or less downbursts that are occurring here. I don't see anything that's wrapping back around. I see bursts coming down to the surface and then moving out ahead, but nothing really spinning to go along with this. We've got the same direction of wind coming out of this at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing too, David. Those storms, once they lose RFD surges, now looks a lot like we're dealing with the possibility of some damaging winds further to the east as it heads in the general direction of like Pulaski. Now we're going to have to watch for something to sneakily be able to, wrap back up because it looked like this before and then it wrapped up. Now, though, as it heads into the forest area, we're going to have to watch that little southern flank there, South Pulaski, as it comes east and heads toward Fikestown, Tanglewood. And really it's going to cross there at Homewood there near Mississippi 35, south of Forest. So we're just going to have to keep an eye out. Now that storm to the southwest, the one near Puckett, is starting to look a little bit more organized. In terms of velocity readings, it looks like it's getting its act together maybe a little bit. Definitely some very strong winds with it. But, it's going through a merger, too, looking at reflectivity. It's dealing with the storm merger situation that we've been seeing going on for the last 30 minutes or so once these storms mature.
Yeah, I mean, even right there, it looked like a rabbit. Coming out of there, it had ears. And then, Now, it's a little dragon looking here, but it doesn't look like much of anything. It doesn't look like there is a lot of lightning gathering again around Puckett. So
We got to watch that second flank there. You see that? There's two. It looks like there's a merger taking place. When that merger completes, we probably got to watch that little flank.
Yeah. There's definitely a northwest to southeast flow aloft in here. You can see that for sure in all of this. At the surface, we've got almost a due south wind to get a little further to the east. Pop up the big screen over here for me, if you will. There you go.
A lot of warnings out there, though, now. We've got several severe warnings. That one in northern Louisiana looks like an absolute beast. Those storms have finally merged up into one north of I-20 there, east of Homer. 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail. You can see that storm is all by its lonesome. You can see it all the way from Jackson's radar. We've still got storms up near the Columbus area that are severe warned for the next 10 minutes or so. We've also got a warning out there for Fayette County for hail up to golf balls for the next 10 minutes or so. I expect that one to possibly be reissued, as it looks pretty nasty, headed down in northern Tuscaloosa County. And it's also got a little bit of an appendage on it, so we're going to have to watch that, see if that becomes something, as the lightning has really increased there along that 171 corridor near Newtonsville, just west of Concord and Moores Bridge. That is going to head down in the general direction of US 43, Gorgas, Windham Springs, Wiley. Need to be watching for that storm. No evidence of a tornado just yet. We still have our tornado warning up near the Tennessee state line there for the next 9 minutes or so. That storm continues to show signs of some broad rotation. Don't see anything that would indicate that a tornado is imminent. Looks a lot less organized than it did when David and I were talking to you about it about 15 minutes ago.
Throw up Brandon's video real quick. He's on the interstate now, and it's just constant lightning. I mean, it's just
he's on 20 there.
And then when you want to pull back my iPad again, if you want to see the satellite data here with some lightning data on it too.
Yeah, you can see all that lightning there on the screen, tons of it. Honestly, we were talking earlier about going out for this, and so far, keyword there is so far, I'm not upset that I didn't leave the house so far.
Yeah, well, you let me take another nap, so I should,
Look at that back building updraft over Louisiana. That thing's headed due south.
Yeah.
And it's getting blown off over Mississippi there, over Vicksburg. You could see the blow off almost to Jackson from that thing. Crazy storms tonight. Let's see here. Oh, I'm in Newton, Mississippi waiting. Looks like I've got some property to check tomorrow. Jonathan Cortez. Does the storm look to hit south of Newton? Take a look at that in a minute. Right now, it looks like the storms would be south of Newton at the moment. We probably want to bring up that other piece of the other topic too, David. If you've got the meso precip discussions, probably be good to show that, because while we have the threat of severe weather and possible tornadoes, we also have a threat of flooding.
Well, it's going to rain for a while here. I mean, we're going to end up with down the Gulf Coast in particular. I'm just been talking to people who are headed that way over the next couple of days. It's not going to be a pretty sight there over the next 5 to 7 days. I mean, the whole flow is going to be coming in. It's going to be an easterly flow into the Gulf Coast region, and so there's as much as 10 to 15 inches of QPF possible there by Friday of next week. In fact, I'll just kind of, I think I can just show you this real quick at what we're really looking at, but there's tons of moisture there that's going to be working its way across and into the rest of the region. Now, it does get cut off a little bit. Let's go to the deep south here and just take a look at the precipitation here and show you precip total. This is, let me see if I can line this up. This is going to be for, I hope you can see Alabama here. This is Alabama, Mississippi, and then back over here into Tennessee, just off to the north. We'll go forward in time all the way up into Monday, and I'll stop it on Monday morning. So there's already QPF here on Monday morning. That's some residual of what we've got here that we're looking at today, and that'll be long-lived enough to get over there for the day tomorrow. But watch as we go through each and every day. There's tons of moisture still available here, and especially as we get into the middle of the week toward Wednesday, Thursday, watch that nose of moisture start picking up across Georgia, across eastern Tennessee, working its way across the rest of the area there and into the deep south that way. Brand new mezzo coming across. I love these new mezzos, by the way. And just as you mentioned that, here's the one that we're talking about, the flash flood possibilities through the night tonight into the overnight hours. See that arrow that's coming into Tennessee there? That's deep layer shear and flow that comes in advection. We call this warm air advection or a moisture transport. That means all that's coming northward across western Alabama and into central Tennessee up toward Nashville along I-40 and then over into the western sections of Kentucky, too, into the low pressure itself there into southern Indiana and Illinois. So there's a wide open gate there. Anytime you're talking about the Gulf of Mexico, you're talking about the fact that it could happen swiftly and quickly. But the other part about this is that there's a really big-time wet event coming up over the next 5, maybe even 7 days that we'll be looking at across the Gulf Coast here as we get into a little bit more of a tropical scenario headed up with 2 different or 3 different waves of energy that might make it to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, David, this has been been a crazy
insane.
I mean, I don't even know. It has been a very active pattern. I mean, Pensacola. Did you see what happened in Pensacola the other night when the tornado went through Pensacola and then at EF2? It was an EF2 at Pensacola Beach, and on the eastern side of the tornado, there was a 6 to 8 foot sea surge that went in and knocked the walls out of the bottom floors of condos and properties there for half a mile.
Was it last night?
It was a couple nights ago.
I've got my nights
Friday or Thursday,
but I did see it. It came in from the northwest. Tornado touched down into southern areas of downtown Pensacola. It crossed Pensacola Bay and went into western Pensacola Beach, where it did EF2 damage. They had 120 as a damage point there. East of where the tornado went, the counterclockwise circulation of the tornado created a surge that came in that was 6 to 8 feet. I've got some Ring doorbell camera video of this. It is insane. You can see waves hitting the back of these properties that are right there beachside. And it drug it in, and it knocked walls out for about a half-mile stretch down the beach there east of that tornado. Crazy, crazy deal. Yes, I was at the beach there for a while, Brett. You know what? Some crazy, crazy stuff took place at the beach while I was there for 7 days because I'm sitting there with some friends, and all of a sudden people start running down the beach yelling about what's going on, and I didn't really know what was happening there at the time. But then all of a sudden, from down the beach, I think I can show you here in just a couple of seconds, check this out. Go back to my page here. This is
I know what you're going to show.
A black bear shows up on the beach. And they're saying, now this came all the way down almost to my place in Seascape. Almost about a quarter of a mile from Seascape, it came down. And they're saying that it came from the radar site, which, is on the other side of East Pass. So it had to swim through the pass, stay out there, not get eaten by a shark,
Long way.
Long way. Came in, and then look, everybody was kind of. There was a little part of me that was like, he needs to turn around and bite somebody, because everybody was just crowding it. You know, they're arresting people left and right up in Yellowstone right now for touching the animals.
For touching the bears, yeah.
Yeah, for touching anything. I mean, somebody rescued an elk out of that was going to drown. Somebody rescued it, and he's in jail today. But yeah, some crazy stuff. And then I don't know if you saw the other thing, but then there were. Now this isn't at Crab Island, but it's the same thing as Crab Island, except different on down the Perdido side. And I've seen this in Crab Island before. I've seen the hammerheads hanging around down there. But look at the guy over there kicking in the water. Oh my Lord! Sometimes I'm embarrassed to be where I'm from.
Yep.
He's kicking in the water.
That's pretty cool, though. Hammerheads are some of the least aggressive sharks, though. Not to say that I would still be out there with them, but they're some of the least aggressive of sharks. Let me throw an update out there for you. Trees and power lines down near Pelahatchie, Rankin County EMA assessing that. Also some damage near McCullough-McLean Road. I mentioned that specifically on air as that tornado was going in that direction. They've been checking the neighborhoods door to door there, and the area is clear of injuries. That is information from Mr. B. Dean Barry. Thank you for that. That is going to give us an all clear, at least for the injury side. I'm sure there's some damage there. We saw the evidence of the debris signature, so we'll be waiting to see what kind of imagery that we get from those damaged areas. Brandon Clement also had some trees down there. I did get information that Brandon was telling me he was between on Highway 18 between Puckett and Brandon. It was closed. And I think that may be due to damage. Not 100% sure of that, but I know that the 18 is closed there between Brandon and Puckett, which makes sense because that's the east side of Florence as that storm was moving in that direction. So may have storm damage down there along 18. We're going to try to get some more info as we go forward in time. But I believe our northern cell that we were talking about that produced a tornado near Cooperville may be trying to wrap up, produce another tornado now as it goes into the forest there near Homewood. It's approaching 35. It's got a bit of a it's not very tight there on velocity yet, but if you look at reflectivity, we've started to get a inflow region yet again. And it's developed that hook echo back. So we got to watch that area very, very closely. And I think our merger on the southern storm is also completed now. So we got to watch that real closely. It seems like when they go through these little cycling phases is when they try to do things and drop tornadoes pretty rapidly.
Yeah, they are. They're super packed now. I mean, they're right up on top of each other. All three of those cells now seem to be merging pretty quickly overall. I see a big, what I think is a large area of hail there in that upper one. Yeah, that one near Forest. That's going to be huge hail there. I don't know what the bill of the moment is, but it's way over that. Harperville, and by the way, this is the reason for this. Did you see there was a tornado report?
Where's that at? Yeah, that's that one that we were talking about up there near Cooperville. Yeah, south of Pelahatchie. That's the one that we that I saw the video of. Holy cow! That latest scan there, west of Homewood on the west side of town there, near Morton Marathon Road. That's suspect. Got a bit of a hook there, and then as David mentioned, up in that core region, up near Frogtown, Norris, Fikestown, Ball Hill, even Forest, got large hail likely falling up there. And then the supercell to the north of that one that's just on the north side of Morton up near Clifton, Harperville, Steele, there's likely very large hail, maybe up to the size of tennis balls falling there across the 35 corridor. Nasty night for these supercells. And honestly, guys, areas back toward Jackson, Vicksburg, Hazelhurst, Natchez, Brookhaven, Crystal Springs, down in the area. That's where Brandon lives. Don't let your guard down yet. There's still a lot of instability back that way. I know you're clear now, but now that storm back over Louisiana that we've been talking about is now tornado warned for the north side of Ruston. has a tornado warning in effect, and actually got some power lines down along Highway 33 from that storm up near Farmerville, Louisiana. They were hit by a pretty bad tornado last year, and now we're starting to see evidence of a tornado there along the Highway 63 corridor north of Ruston, up near Dubach, Unionville, Gills Ferry, Evergreen area. Seeing some areas of circulation there is kind of cyclonic. That is something that we've got to watch as this storm continues to move over toward Interstate 20. It may end up traversing just to the east of Ruston, across between Ruston and West Monroe there on I-20, but that's going to be something that's definitely needed to be watched over the next 45 minutes or so. That warning is out for 40 minutes, so 10:45 is when that warning goes up.
All right, so kind of parallel there. Is it actually going to end up in Ruston? I think it's going to go a little bit east of there, unless we're just flying due south here. I think we're going to end up a little bit east of Ruston, but parallel I-20 there, and probably even crossing over around Monroe, Louisiana there, where the dew point's 79 degrees. Currently, It's 84 over 79. You sit on a and look at it. It's on the boundary. Look at the boundary.
It's on the front. That's what I was just about to say. The winds behind that have shifted to the northwest. So we're going to have to watch this over time to see if this continues to organize or if it may get somewhat undercut by the boundary. The boundary looks to be moving now pretty quickly over there across Louisiana. Let me check some observations now. That interests me quite a bit because that looks like that's along a boundary there. The winds across Mississippi are still solidly backed all the way up into the Delta. Looks like Greenville's out of the southwest, but Oxford's out of the southeast, Corinth's out of the southeast, and we now have new cells developing north of Clarksdale, and then along I-55 up near Como and Senatobia. We're seeing more storms form up in that vicinity. It looks like we're going to get a lot of storms, whether they're tornadic or not. Honestly, I expect to see this shift toward a more damaging wind threat and maybe a very heavy rain threat as we go through time. This is going to be real interesting as they move into western Alabama over the next couple of hours, just to see how all this congeals up, because you've got complex up into southern Tennessee and north Mississippi. You've got all the big storms down in central Mississippi from Hattiesburg all the way up to almost Tupelo. All that stuff's got to merge at some point, and we're going to see how that transpires. It looks like it comes across central Alabama, and it may pose a pretty serious damaging wind threat with it as all that merges up and moves toward the east and southeast.
Yeah, and it's pretty wet. I mean, you can see all the way over to Nashville. There's a pretty good plume of moisture that goes all the way up into Evansville, Indiana, actually, out of Madisonville and into Hopkinsville. Nothing there. I don't even see any lightning associated with what's happening there. It's just heavy rainfall on the northern end of this, up near the low pressure center itself. The individual supercells are well down to the south. You kind of get your first one there around Hohenwald and into Waynesboro. They're up on top of the plateau there to Savannah, back over to Selmer, into the Bethel Springs region. The one strong storm we had there that was tornado warned a few minutes ago is now a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 38 minutes. The National Weather Service has Tippah, Alcorn, southeastern Hardeman, and McNairy County. They're in West Tennessee. They are all under severe thunderstorm warnings for at least 60-mile-per-hour winds. Nickel-sized hail is possible there near the town of Pocahontas, and moving southwest to Big Hill State Park. Big Hill Pond State Park, moving east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour there, too. And then down to the south, you get into more of the singular stuff. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning that is still hanging tough here for the next 37 minutes over to Alabama. This is Tuscaloosa and South Fayette County, where in west central Fayette County, around 10:45, we have the likelihood of winds that are at least into the 55 to 60 mile per hour range. Golf ball sized hail. That's moving east at 20 miles per hour. Golf ball sized hail there in the central part of Fayette County, just north of Tuscaloosa. And over to Reform and Gordo, Highway 82, Millport, Alabama. Hitogi up 17. Highway 17, going back over there to Millport. My grandmother was born and raised there in Millport, Alabama. Love that area of Lamar County. My uncle, the sheriff there. Brad, you know my uncle's the sheriff of Lamar County for something like 25 years.
Had no idea.
Yeah, and he
Dude.
gave me
No
he
idea.
gave me a fake sheriff's deputy badge one time, and I brought it back home over to Etowah County. And you know what don't work here?
I imagine not.
I thought it did. I was gonna come over and be a terror. Some of them bullies, some of them people who've been messing with me. I had my own little Lamar County badge, but it didn't work. This side of I-65, I guess I just lost jurisdiction over here, and I still got the heck beat out of me, even with my badge in my pocket. Anyway, that's another story that therapy and some other things will help me with later on in life, I think.
I got you, David.
So anyway, what do we got here, B? We still got the. Let's go back to. Let me get rid of that radar and let's get some local, better-looking radars here. Overall, very globular. Let's
see. That's what I'm trying to dig here, folks. I promise you, I'm not ignoring anything. I'm trying to dig and see what we got. Looks like we got some hail up to golf ball size in Cato Road there in that area. Let's see.
Cato Road where?
Let's see. I think that's going to be Rankin County. I don't have a city there. Let's see.
They did just go back tornado warning again. Over into Louisiana, Ruston, the Vienna, Duboc area.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay, that tornado watch I see is very, very thin in West Alabama. I just saw the image of it.
Yeah,
One
like
East
west of
Mississippi.
65, really.
Yep. All the way down just to the north side of Mobile. I think they just wanted to add a couple rows of counties over into the state just in case something kind of got out of hand as it came in. Oh, let's see here. I mean, the photograph over there looking out of central Mississippi is very impressive of the observed. 0 to 3 helicities were over 500. 0 to 1 was 371. It's just it's a weird looking curvature to it. You see how these storms are. They're leaned over. They're not. You're not seeing really quick moving storms. We're seeing the hook echoes on the southern flank, and you're seeing these big cores out to the north of the supercell. It's actually east and southeast of it.
Yeah, they're not moving very fast.
Not at all. I think that's part of the problem in terms of why they're having a hard time being able to maintain that supercellular type structure. Even, I mean, they look supercellular, but in terms of their rotation, they're just having a really, really hard time, and there's not a lot of spacing in between these. That's what we really look for, the spacing to assist with that. Now they're rotating, especially that southern one's rotating pretty stoutly aloft, but it's just not that impressive. I mean, I don't see anything that indicates that there's a tornado on the ground at this point in time, and I don't think that there's anything that says that a tornado's imminent just yet either. So that's going to be something we got to watch as we go through the next hour or so. Me personally, I'm hopeful that we don't deal with much in the way of damage. Looks like the daycare in Florence near the 49 daycare, major damage. Trees down, trees on houses, Johnson Road. Let's see.
Still some large hail out there, which was, the enhanced was put out, by the way, for the hail, not the tornado threat, but
It initially was, and then the tornado threat actually got the enhanced. We got a 10% hatch area at 8 o'clock, so they upgraded it. So we got to upgrade for the tornado just for the possibility of, holy cow. For the possibility of a tornado or two, and it could also be strong.
just reissued that till 10:45.
Yep. I'm looking to see what other information.
This Corinth is now tornado warned again until 10:45, I believe.
The Corinth storm? Okay. That's interesting.
Lincoln Parish.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So we got a severe warning up there, up to the north, and then we got the tornado warning over north of Ruston still. Okay. Right there on the boundary, I'm starting to see evidence of stuff firing up on its flank too. It's never good news for a tornado situation when you see things firing up on the flank of the updraft. It has a harder time trying to do its thing, which is good news, but I tell you what, that thing over there has got to be dropping some monster hail and likely some strong winds. We got some damage reported there in northern Tuscaloosa County on the Fayette County line. Trees blown down, completely blocking 171 at the Tuscaloosa-Fayette County line, 5 north of Moore's Bridge, and that's from the Tuscaloosa EM there. That storm looks pretty nasty to be in Alabama at this point as well. Don't know how long it's going to last, though.
It's actually moving.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. A bit of a trend with the storms that are a little to the north. They've got a little more forward motion to them. The ones down there along across central Mississippi even have a little bit of a southerly component to them, but we're starting to see storms break out ahead of this main area of convection here, really from Lamar County all the way down through Greene and Hale County now, with a lot of lightning. I mean, it's very unstable over here. I am just to the east here, over in the Childersburg area, east of Alabaster, just east of the radar site. So we're going to see some of that mess, I'm pretty sure. In the next hour or so. I've been dealing with lightning strikes all around here the last couple of days, too. Every time we get a storm through here, it's lightning. It likes to pop something. So we've been dealing with lightning issues. Talking about Brandon. Brandon had wind damage at his house a couple of nights ago. I think it damaged solar panels, damaged his fence, damaged trees up in the yard, and then he got hit by hail this morning. They had tennis ball size hail go just south of him. So with a supercell at about 5 a.m. again. The deal that happened the other day happened at about 5 a.m. It's all those storms that were the complexes we've been watching come out of the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma that were traversing southeast. There was a complex this morning that went through southern Mississippi, and then it went off the coast. And the worry is that might actually keep today from happening. And it was able to move off, and the atmosphere was able to recover enough to continue to cause some problems. So see what we got. See if we got anything else.
So we got the one tornado warning left. Down to the south of Forest. They went severe thunderstorm warning with the other one to the north.
All right, and we got the one Louisiana warning. It does not look overly impressive tornadically, but it does look pretty nice from a severe storm standpoint. I think we're going to generally, over the course of the next couple hours, move in that direction as we start to see surface winds kind of veer around a little bit behind this initial band of convection. Other than that one storm up there that's up near Corinth, it still has a chance. Dew points are up in the 70s there. So it still has a chance to possibly do something over the course of the next couple hours. But we shall see if that transpires or not.
All right, what you want to do, B? Get me to tell some jokes? I know some jokes. I learned some jokes when I was down at the beach. I can give you a UFO update because disclosure is close. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Disclosure 2.0 is. I mean, we're right. We're getting ready. I hope you have some skills that the aliens would want to use.
Gonna need them, right?
I don't know if they eat. I don't know if like fast food. I could do fast food, but
It's about the only thing we can give, I do believe, Dave.
I don't know. I just want to be on their good side.
Yeah. We're I'm still trying to pay a little bit of attention here to that one cell down there headed toward Riley, Mississippi. I don't see. Well,
It's a ball.
it is. It's that's one area that might have to be watched there for just a little while longer. Uh, it doesn't have anything south of it now that's really blocking anything, and nothing developing on its flank. So that's the one for now. The other ones look like they've kind of gotten crushed. You're getting pushed in from the back there. But if you look at the winds, still at the Jackson Airport, you got southeast winds
Southeast
at 10.
wind.
Southeast winds there, west of town at 13 at the Air Force Base there too. And
South of Laurel.
yeah, due south out of Hattiesburg, Laurel, Macomb, Natchez. You're starting to see some veering though over in Louisiana, over toward Alexandria. You got a little bit of veering there. You really get veered though once you get north of that area, just north of Ruston. Once you get behind that cell, it really veers out. We're starting to see some veering there too at Greenville. So along the river delta, we're seeing areas that are veering out with winds at the surface. That is going to lower that low-level shear. So really and truly, it seems like areas from Memphis down to Hernando, most definitely down to Hernando. Tunica's winds are out of the northwest. It's very muggy there. You're going to see some thunderstorms possibly redevelop. But I believe your tornado threat is over as you go Memphis down to Hernando, Clarksdale, Greenville, cross it, El Dorado, Arkansas, back over to Shreveport. That boundary's coming through Shreveport now. Your tornado threat is pretty much done for the night. We still have a limited threat across portions of central Mississippi and west central Alabama. Very surprised, I'll be honest with you, parameter space. This stuff's growing up scale. We're starting to watch some of our modeling there. David's going to throw up probably the high-resolution rapid refresh. It shows these storms really starting to congeal up. It looks like a big mess. And those should push into Alabama through the overnight, maybe even have some flash flooding from some of those storms as it continues to push east and south. It's going to move into Georgia. It may even make it down into South Alabama, northern Florida as we get into the early morning hours. And that's going to set the stage for really where that boundary ends up tomorrow, for there to be more activity down there, really from Mobile over to Tallahassee up toward the north, probably Valdosta area. That's probably where your highest threat of any kind of
severe weather tomorrow? That's Gulf Coast is slight tomorrow.
It is. As of right now, it's a slight risk. Seems like every day for some reason it goes up to an enhanced risk. I have not looked at the modeling to really know what the potential for the risk is tomorrow. Matter of fact, while we're sitting here and just kind of waiting, I'm going to take a look and see what we got. I don't see a ton that makes me think that it should be higher than a slight tomorrow. But you never know. You never know. Let's see. Let's go back. Here's the high resolution modeling here on my side of the fence, and everything initialized really, really well here at our 0Z cycle, it looks like. So I mean, yeah, there's gonna be a complex, it looks like, that pushes through Bama here overnight. Probably going to get noisy around the Birmingham area here around midnight, maybe a little after. East Alabama is going to deal with it too. Probably some high winds and some hail, I would say, are a good threat. Localized flooding as well. As we go into daybreak tomorrow, we should see that begin to exit out of East Alabama, and it'll be down south, probably down near Troy, up into the Atlanta metro area. And we're going to see that boundary that these storms are on kind of hang out down there. It looks like the Florida Panhandle is in for a soaker tomorrow. and then portions of southeast Alabama as well. There's going to be some strong storms. I would guess some hail, high winds, deadly lightning, and localized flooding. And then that boundary actually tries to push on offshore for a bit, and then it is over south central Louisiana. That area might get in on the act for a few days as that boundary tries to shift all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. We got an upper level low that drops in over our area. And they talk about something that's rare this time of the year. Upper level low tries to pinwheel in here out of the Tennessee Valley by Tuesday and spark off some thunderstorms as we've got cold air aloft. And underneath that, we got warm air, so we're going to see some thunderstorms develop potentially there, which is just nutty. And then we got to watch the tropics. Got to watch the tropics as we see whatever that develops into. Most likely a fish storm. Most likely going to recurve, and we've got a secondary area out there that's being monitored now too. But I don't see any evidence that that's going to really do much yet. And again, this may be the trend. I'm curious to see what this storm does. The only way I think that we have a threat is if this thing can undercut this system off the East Coast and really go into the Caribbean there. I'm not sure that's going to be able to happen, though. So we shall see in the coming days.
Well, all right.
Let me take a look here. One more look. I think they actually have issued. All right, we need to get back on it, Dave. Let's go to that cell there at Raleigh, just on the west side of Raleigh, Mississippi. We're about to get a tornado there, if we don't already have one. We got two areas. We got a ball there just to the south of Highway 18, and then another one just on the northeastern side of the community of Heater there. Actually has a good circulation there showing up on radar as well. If you go to the velocity product, you can see both of those circulations. I think the southern one's going to take over, but that northern one's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Northern one's pretty tight. Neither are showing evidence of debris just yet. But again, it took that thing a minute and it recycled, and now we're starting to see that business is picking up yet again. It's they've been short-lived tornadoes so far. I would say, wouldn't you, David?
Oh yeah.
Some short-lived touchdowns, maybe down a couple miles. The most serious damage I've heard is around the daycare there in Florence on 49. It's been the most serious damage that I've heard of. Trying to get more information there. That would have took place south of 469 there where the Waffle House is located. That would have been south of there. It would have crossed there somewhere near, let's see here, Summerlin Road is where that would have came across, pretty close to Summerlin Road, and went toward McClellan Road earlier. But we're watching this storm that is approaching Raleigh, Mississippi there. Man, I tell you what, Dave, that thing looks really good. I've got our radar scope source there, and it looked really good there for just a short time. It's almost having a problem though. It's got good inflow. It looks like it's got weak RFD, but now it's starting to crank up. I see that northern circulation did what we thought, starting to spin out, and the southern one is taking over. That is potentially problematic there as it goes. That community there, Raleigh, if that were to go down in that area, that's a problem. That's a little more populated than.
If you know anybody in Raleigh right now, you need to give them a buzz, or Silverina, or Bay Springs, because that's sort of the trajectory we're headed on, just a little bit due south of east. And I would certainly be paying attention to that if, whatever the case may be. It's hard to get a true beat on where it is because it is all still rotating, but just a little bit south of due east is the movement here. And coming over the town of Raleigh in the next scan. So in about 5 minutes, it should be right over the city of Raleigh there. And I don't know where Brandon is at the moment. Is Brandon anywhere close to there?
I don't think so. I know he was stuck up trying to get down 18 because that is the same highway I think that goes out of Puckett. It is. It's closed, so he had a hard time getting
Okay.
through there. He's Yeah, he's probably not on that
All
storm.
right.
I believe he was going to check on that daycare center back near Florence. If you're there though, 18 White Oak Avenue, I'm sorry, west side of Raleigh, that storm's right over top of you. Mimosa Drive and 35 there runs north out of Raleigh. You need to be in your place of shelter right now.
Right this minute.
That tornado is probably coming over top of you, if not right now, within the next minute or two. And as you can see there in the velocity loop, it's gotten better organized over the last couple of minutes. You've even got evidence of some debris there just a few moments ago. Let me take a look at that too there, Dave. I'm curious to see if that's co-located.
Yes.
Yeah, I was afraid it was.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the northern circulation there too. That first one. See that actually spun up a little tornado there northeast of Heater. It looks like with some debris there, and that circulation has since weakened some, but it's still showing a tornado there. So we're starting to see a transition though, into that hook area that's going to be west of Raleigh. That is a tornado warning that is in effect. Let's see here.
There's some 80 to 85 mile per hour. There's 130 miles per hour net shear.
Yep.
But
That's. I'm waiting on the next velocity scan. I just got the scan. That area of the Hook Echo is right over Raleigh now. Looks like the velocity might be a little behind it, but
yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem, guys. If you're
a little weaker.
Yeah, it did. Again, these are very what we call transient signatures. We're not seeing anything that's long lasting. It's just real transient in nature, which is good news. If you get something, it's typically going to be a short lived touchdown, but that's bad enough. Apparently, it sounds like we've got some damage again from this earlier back up near Florence. Right there, really, it ingested an outflow boundary, and things got pretty crazy there for a short period of time. This storm still looks easily the storm of the moment, I would say. There's another storm now northeast of Jackson that's kind of cleared out in the rear flank, and that would up north of Morton could become a problem. Starting to see some areas of rotation with it that could be problematic too. So it's probably going to be a pain for a little while here. But as these continue to move off toward the east, we can hope these winds start to veer around over back near Jackson. But right now, we're still not seeing that. The environment's still supportive. If anything can pop, the environment's still supportive of tornadoes for the next little bit at least. Let's see here. Seeing a lot of reports popping up now of tornadoes. Okay, those are TDS indications. That's the one. They're officially giving the TDS indication on a storm report now of the one that we were talking about northeast of Brandon Airport earlier. And then another one that's north of Morton earlier that went down, traveled near Forest. So they're saying there's probably some damage up in those areas. Our tornado warning in Louisiana did get downgraded to a severe warning, but it's a big severe warning. Looks like that they're calling for some pretty big winds with that.
It's ugly.
Yeah. NWS employee states that there is damage along 49, 2 miles southeast of downtown Florence, which is at that intersection that we mentioned just a while ago at 49 and Summerlin Road. And then over in the neighborhood adjacent to its north and east as it crossed McCullough-McLean Road. So Unfortunately, we do have damage reports, and these are just popping up. So that's the reason I bring them about. Funky looking cells, though, David. These are not your typical looking supercells by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, it's because, and you have to use your sense of dynamics of dynamics that you know from the springtime or from the fall, kind of throw them out the window and sort of reset on why this is all kind of happening. We don't have a huge digging trough here at the moment that's discernible.
No, and honestly, it's amazing how long that this has continued to occur here. So again, hopeful that we start to see some of this push out. This is just so abnormal. It's the storm chasers out there in the southern plains have absolutely loved the pattern. This is kind of the same jet that caused the deadly Perryton, Texas tornado a couple of days ago out there in the Texas Panhandle. Just typically that area out there's a lot of open space, and unfortunately we saw some areas get hit. Downtown areas, a EF3 tornado, a matter of fact. And I think we had upwards of 3 or 4 fatalities from that particular tornado, and it just devastated town. And it just unlucky area out there in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Still a big storm off to the north here on the, this is up in the border here, Corinth, back over to Farmington. And this is into Mississippi here, by the way. Highway 72 comes out of Burnsville and Iuka and goes back to the west over to Memphis. Got a strong thunderstorm moving from west to east here. Tons of lightning associated with it. We had a little spin there just a little while ago that doesn't really show up any longer as anything rotating tightly. Looks like more of an outflow that's headed across Highway 2, County 2 there, and 45 that'll be showing up. We got a wind that comes in out of the southwest. It's 73 over 70 degrees there. The actual temperatures a little bit cooler than they are down to the south. Got a cluster of thunderstorms coming through the central sections way up here on the plateau. Hohenwald is just off to the north in Lawrenceburg, just outside of Summertown on 43, US 43 that comes in to Mount Pleasant there on that side. But got a little thunderstorm going on up there that's causing a little bit of noise, if you will, from Lawrenceburg back over to Pulaski. And then coming out of Nashville, a little bit of light rain there, too. And some of the thunderstorms now making their way across I-65 into Alabama, Decatur, over to Athens, southward to Birmingham, Jefferson County, even into Shelby County here tonight. No warnings. We had a severe thunderstorm warning there a little bit a while ago, but they let that expire. But Brett was mentioning this earlier. Now, you're talking about trajectories now, and if you just sort of look at this, and you look at the... this is kind of simple stuff. This is like you get somebody gave you some colors at the, wherever, the Jack's restaurant, and you got to sit down and draw some colors. Well, here's some colors, and here's some movement for you to show you. Everything's coming down the pipe here, which says if it's starting back here and it's moving in this direction, Birmingham, you're going to get waylaid there. All this is heavy rain. It's not your little showery stuff coming in. It's going to be heavy rain, and the moisture is just going to keep on coming here. So there's the possibility to get some flash flooding coming into Birmingham, coming into western Alabama, right there along the Alabama River, or westward back over into US 82 that goes northward to Columbus. Heavy amounts of rain are on the way there if they're not already. I know it's already raining heavily there in western Jefferson County and Shelby County too. Back over to Memphis, same thing. There is a trajectory there that keeps very heavy rain coming down that extends well back to the west. I mean, we're looking at several hundred miles back to the west. If you're just trying to find out how far it is, you go all the way back over here, and that's 200 miles back to the west. The moisture is back there, so that's not going to leave anytime soon. This is one of those sort of odd situation where no rhyme or reason to this, and not really something that you could pick up modeling. For that case, it would have to weaken pretty rapidly. But any of these things have the potential to drop like an inch of rain in an hour if you get right underneath one. And so that's the other part of this is I think we're going to have some Cahaba River problems early tomorrow morning, perhaps, Brett.
That's not surprising. Not surprising at all. It looks like we could have, several individual issues, be it hail, some wind, and, again, the possibility of flash flooding. I think flash flooding could actually be much more problematic than anticipated. I know the WPC's already talked about that potential, especially as these storms come over into Alabama later this evening. We're already starting to see a lot of that activity there from I-65 West, Coleman County, Winston County, down into Tuscaloosa County. Tuscaloosa is pretty flood prone there too, in that downtown area. So we're gonna have to watch for that. But a lot of storms yet to go, especially across East Mississippi and the Alabama area. So
yeah, ironically, in North Alabama, it's been pretty dry. I mean, it's everything that's been moving across Alabama or Tennessee has sort of dodged that northern half of the Tennessee Valley, and we could actually use some rainfall. I was down at one of the local creeks today, and it was well below the norm. Wills Creek there, Town Creek, a couple of them are well below the norm, so they could use some rainfall. Don't want to get it all at once, but, I got watermelon plants that are out right now, and I just planted some potatoes today that need it. A
lot of stuff's just dry, like you said, especially up that way. I know you guys have kind of ducked and dodged and been avoided.
Yeah, it's dying. Every time it comes over here, we've been in, we've had that little wedge thing over on east, 2-3 counties into East Alabama. You're susceptible to be under the wedge at any point, and so we've been that way. We've been under a wedge for most of the last month and a half, and everything that tries to come over here down is really, really quick into East Alabama, say east of I-59, and so it's pretty dry. It's pretty dry over in this area here for the most part.
Completely agree. We were dry here for quite a while, and then we started to just get blown on here, just pounced on with rain. So that's that's been interesting in itself, to say the least. But we're a little bit better off than we were a couple weeks ago. But it's one of those things where you just don't know. I mean, right now we need to take the rain while we can, because it's likely going to dry out for a time period before too long. We always do in the summer.
Always do.
You see that. I just looked at your little radar loop there. You see that transition again taking place. That one circulation went off to the north, and now you got a separate circulation forming down there to the southeast again.
Yeah.
These storms are just continually doing it. I tell you, I've been looking at one storm off to the north that is getting increasingly interesting to me. North of Morton there, South Carthage, got a bit of a hook near Lena, the community of Lena. It doesn't look very good on velocities. It's broad, but there's a broad area of convergence there. That's probably one of the best areas of broad convergence I've seen, and those are the ones you have to watch for. It's got a little bit better structure, I guess, supercellular wise too, as well, to possibly form up a tornado. What I like to see is those cores shifted more to the north of that hook. They just seem to do better in terms of tornado production, but hopefully we don't deal with much of that tonight. But that lightning output has really went crazy here recently.
It's crazy in that one spot, and then you got your mullet. What I always call the mullet hanging out the back here. This is the mullet area.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Party
Is that
in
what
the
you
back
say?
right here.
Okay.
And so I think I agree with you there. Overall, that's one of those areas that might be watching. It's still a lot of lightning around. Any one of these individual cells still has quite a bit of lightning going on with it, which can be a huge inconvenience to you. If it happens to you and you lose your power, it's hot enough to where you don't want to lose your power tonight.
That's it. 36,000 people thus far, let's see, reported without power in the state of Mississippi at this hour.
I'm so against that.
Let's see, let's see, 34,000, looks like there's 34,635. So right at 35,000, and a lot of them are down near Hinds County. This is from the storms that happened a couple of days ago. Hinds County, Copiah County, Hinds County in particular has got almost 20,000 people out of power, and a lot of that took place over the course of the last couple of days. What's crazy, Oklahoma, there's still almost 250,000 people in the state of Oklahoma without power right now after that MCS derecho moves through there last night. Texas and Louisiana's got almost 100,000 as well. So that's your power report here.
So your little storm down here, again, it's trying to turn. It's trying to curl up there just around Sandpoint. If you put the velocity data in there, you got 2 rotations again. Sort of.
Yeah, it's having a hard time. It's
one near Shangalo.
Things split off and fight each other almost.
That's a cool name. I live between Lemon and Shangalo.
Here, Dave, I'm going to post this here in case you want to show it. Just to, I talked about it, but just in case you wanted to show it.
That is just some constant lightning.
He's in Raleigh. I think I thought he was going to Florence based on what I had heard. But probably not.
Wow.
Let's see here.
Wow.
I'm taking a look at I posted the outage information there in the group there. If you want to use any of that or look at that, just FYI. Weather Service office in Memphis is noting a weakening trend up in their area to the storms as the tornado watch continues across some of their area, but they're removing counties from the watch as of 11 o'clock, which is in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I wrote Darren a little note and told him to back off. I'm glad he did. Saw a great picture today. Did you see the picture of all of our heroes there? Ken Graham was
Birmingham.
in town.
Yeah, he's been in town all week apparently.
Yeah, Ken was here, and director of the National Weather Service, Ken Graham, who used to be RMIC here when I was in television, did tons of work with Ken. If there is ever a show called The Nicest Guy in the Whole Wide World, Ken Graham's going to be number 1 on that show. And then directly behind him would be me. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Somebody said that in my ear. Would be, I can't say that. Who else was in that? Who else was in that picture? It was,
you had Chris Darden, which is our MIC here in Birmingham, and then you had I guess whoever took Darren's position there at the Water Prediction Center. He went down there for a few days.
But Jim Stepkovich was in
Stepkovich, EMA. He went to the Alabama EMA and saw Jim. He kind of went on an Alabama World Tour this week or whatever. So visited all your buddies in Birmingham and all that stuff too. All that.
Yep, that's the guy that he might as well be the president of the United States, or just as important. And if you met him on the street and you said, "Hey, buddy, let me tell you about something," he'd stop and listen.
Yeah, he didn't stop by Wesley's on this trip, I'm pretty sure. They probably talked about it in the studio, though. North of Birmingham, I think, isn't it, David? Wesley's. Yeah. That's what I thought.
No, he was. I had some of my coolest moments with him when he was in Louisiana. We went to some of those.
Oh, when he was down at Slidell he was MIC there, right?
A couple of times down there.
Yeah. Was he there? Was he not there during Katrina?
Yes.
He was MIC there, right?
He was, and he
put some of those statements out.
Along with young man I used to go to school with, Martin. What's his last name? Don't ask me about names. Angel.
Angel Montanez, yeah, he
Angel and I
he went,
graduated together at Florida State.
yeah, he took an IT job there. I don't know where he's at now. I think he's
He
still
is in
there.
Puerto Rico.
Oh, is he really?
He is.
Oh, wow, did not know that.
There is a new mezzo. Let's just look at it here together.
Yeah, when you read that mesoscale discussion there and you read that headline, that doesn't tell me that they feel really great about the severe threat. It does make me think that they believe there could be a couple more severe storms, but they don't think.
No, we're look where all the Cape is.
Yeah, it's back over to the west there.
A little bit.
Yep. Let's see here. Looks like everybody's gone offline on my end of the fence here now. Let's see what we got. Some Pelahatchie tornado warning video. Anything here? Oh, snap. Okay. Interesting. We just had some tornado warning video. I didn't see a tornado in the video there, but I had some video come across.
Are they saying that hatched area is the highest threat there? Like
tornado threat maximized in the next hour in that hatch. Yep. I guess they're thinking that circular area is probably the last of the tornado threat, but that hatch has got the greatest one. With that one cell, it's really that one cell that they seem to be monitoring there.
What's that got to do with Hattiesburg, though?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a little bit north, right? At least on this end of the fence, it looks like it should be north of there. It's going to go north of Laurel even.
Yeah.
Unless something else forms up down there, but I don't see any evidence.
They know something that we don't?
I'm kind of wondering if that, unless that cell back over Louisiana decides to go that way. I don't think it's going to matter at that point, though. I think this is the show, and honestly, tell you what's very impressive to me, the leading edge of that's rushing out over Alabama. That stuff's already in the Birmingham metro area on the west side of Jefferson County now.
Yeah.
That storm that was in.
So there must have been a kink back there.
Yeah.
That had to be some little kink and trough that.
Yep, it's. I think all this is on the leading edge of it. It's spreading east really, really quickly. It's just we're lucky that this is. What time of the year we in? Is this April or is this June, July? I think we're lucky that we're not in April.
June.
Lucky we're not in April for this one. Hey, I tell you a story. Not really a story,
Brad. It don't even have to be true at this point. I'm so tired. I don't care if it's a full-blown lie. Just let me hear it.
Well, I was told typically there off of the Mississippi Sound, off the river, typically there is water coming out of the river there, and you got a lot of freshwater issues on the near shore areas down around Gulfport, Biloxi, up in that region there. The freshwater usually hurts the salinity, which in turn hurts some of the bigger fish coming in. Usually have to go out deeper for those big fish because of the salinity issues. Well, and the water temps. Well, the salinity up in the bays down there literally is upwards of 10 to 15 times above normal salinity level. They're catching sailfish 10 miles off of Biloxi. They're catching cobia right off the islands out there right now.
Huh.
And that's not typical for that area because their fisheries are not like coastal Louisiana off of Chalmette or Homa or Grand Isle, anything like that. Definitely not like Destin or any of those areas. But they're catching sailfish and catching cobia and catching they've even caught some snapper out there this year. And they're like, this is some of the most abnormal stuff we've seen. But the salinity levels are so high, they're seeing the huge reds, and they've even seen some cobia try to come up into the bay.
Well, cobia will come up, underneath the bridge in Destin.
Well, yeah, but your salinity levels over there are typically going to be higher because you don't have that stream flow coming out of the river.
Yeah.
So there's like been, we didn't have much. It was weird. We didn't have any real river flooding down this far south from the snowmelt. So strange.
Kind of on the other side of that too was when I'm sorry, one of our interns is trying to come up with his own forecasting data here. Just a minute.
All right. Oh, gotcha.
He's got a pen. He's drawing, which always scares me when he's
allowed
to draw. I told you to take his pen away from him.
Take his crayons away.
But he's right. I mean, we got a little tit there, if you will.
Tornado intercept toddler topper.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me ask these people if they have any questions. I love snapper too, Lizzie. Love everything.
That's not a bad call.
Ooh, look at that. That's wild looking.
Yeah, we let me tell my story first.
Go.
We used to have that same sort of thing happen with the Apalachicola River. If when we go over there, the river runs into Apalachicola, but starts way up on the other side of Bluntstown. And depending upon how much salt water was up the river, you fish for whatever. I mean, we fished for saltwater trout way up the river, not to I-10, but way up the river during the dead of winter. And then I've caught bass to where you could actually see the bay, like right in salt water. I've caught large bass on shrimp.
Yeah.
So, it's not really that unheard of. The other day they were catching a bunch of a little bit unheard of in the intercoastal waterway. They were catching large crevalle, like
Jack Crevalle,
30-pound crevalle in the waterway. The guy was telling me. I didn't see any of them, but yeah, some of that stuff. It has been really weird. It's all been really weird this year. I mean, and did I mention that a bear came in to the beach? I didn't have anything to throw at it. I just put my rod up. I had nothing to throw to catch that thing, but I bet you had to put up a fight. Yeah, so they say it came from the radar side over there, from the military side on the other side of the bridge, that it swam through the East Pass. That's just unbelievable.
On the other side of Tyndall or Elgin?
Elgin. Oh, yeah, over there by the radar, by the dome.
Yeah.
And came across the East Pass, swam across the East Pass. Boats had to be missing it. A boat finally did escort it all the way back to the beach, but it didn't come in until it got all the way past the bridge, Midway Bridge, and then it came on shore, and then it went behind the Lowe's. Can you imagine?
That's crazy. I saw it coming on the beach. I didn't see.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some weird stuff.
Let's see. On that
little
big
black bear, I felt so sorry for it. So there is a new tornado warning there, and
they're doing that on that other flank, that south flank, and then you see there's kind of a embedded hook there.
Yep.
North of Silverina in Bay Springs,
Pineville.
It's a that one looks suspect. It's really wrapped up in there in rain too. That's the part that I don't particularly care for.
Smith and Jasper County.
Look aloft on that one. That one's got some depth to it. That's a problem there if it continues. If it starts to wrap on in. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of wrap there in level 2.
Yep, that's what I was just looking at up
0.5.
there aloft. It's got some pretty serious. Ooh, it's all the way up, or it's all the way up to tilt 3 so far.
You have a tilt 3?
I was looking at another product. That's an hour-long tornado warning that they just threw out there. I was going to say we'll go to the tornado warning stop, but see if anybody's got anything. I was asking questions here. Let's see what we got here. Snapper's some great eating. Love snapper. I don't think David likes black bear. Otherwise, he would have shot that one coming on the beach the other day.
No. No, I went to, if any of you out there are listening, you know anything about the Gulf Coast, ever since I was a kid, and I grew up, I've had a place down in Destin, Florida, since I went to Florida State University, but the Louisiana Lagniappe's one of my favorite places of all to eat, the lagniappe there on the bay, and I ate there the other night, and I had a blackened grouper, and I can't stop thinking about it. I don't have a woman in my life right now, so I suppose it's
food or nothing, right?
It's food or nothing. I can't stop thinking about how good that was.
Whoa.
It was so good.
That's interesting.
It was $60, but it was so good. That's where I used to go. Now, when I had a boat back there, I used to keep a boat there in the harbor, and so we'd take the boat and go out and fish, catch a couple of amberjack. And amberjack was trash back then when I was a kid, but snapper was. We'd keep a snapper and a triggerfish if we wanted to and bring it in. And the lagniappe used to let you bring it by. We'd go ahead and clean it. They'd let us bring it by there, and for $7, it was $7. You come back an hour later, and they'd cook it however you wanted it. And it was really, really cool thing. But, yeah. Anyway, this storm again, let's look at it. We're talking about other things because we don't have a lot to talk about other than this one lone storm here, which looks a little bit hotter here at the moment, Brett.
Look at CC. We got a tornado on the ground there north of Silverina. Definite circulation there. Definite circulation, definite area of what looks to be lowered CC. Let's see. I'm seeing it better on the other radar product. But
there was right that one scan right there. I see what you're talking about right there.
Well, on the other radar product, I'm seeing it clear as day.
The good one over here. Let's see.
There's another one. Yeah. You can see it right there. I promise you, when you change it to CC Tracker, you're going to see it. Or either I'm behind, one or the other. That's what I was about to say. Am I that far behind? Oh, no. I'm seeing it now. Zoom in right there on that last scan. There it is. Stop. Right there. North side. North of that beam. I don't know. Same thing I am. It's there if you look. You just co-locate it with the hook. It's not a deep CC, but it's a CC for sure. Matter of fact, let's see. Radar indicated.
You see it right there pretty well.
Yeah, that's it.
It ain't much.
That's it.
Because then it goes away.
Let's see here. It's going to go over toward Montrose and Lewin. Probably Montrose on 15 over there is going to be the best place to intercept it, but it may take it 12 hours to get there. It literally is crawling. I mean, we could literally go out and stand inside this tornado's vortex for 10 minutes before it moves by. That's the only thing that might get them a high rating if they hit something. They may sit over the house and suck the roof off for 35 minutes. So, it kind of lost its excuse me, kind of lost its identity now.
All right, it's, you know.
Oh, it's still there. I see it now. Okay.
It's the second one, remember? It's not the one we were watching before. This is the tail end of that cell.
Which one?
Remember, we were watching that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And now, so this is the backside of it.
Yeah, no, it's not that backside. It's up in it. It's not that, but I see that forming too. It's up there on the forward flank of where that initial storm, I guess. Yeah, see it? It's up in the front flank there. It's where all that spins at. Yeah, it just lost its definition. It's still got really, really good winds there, but it's losing it. It's in the wrong area. It's getting overtaken. Let's see what it looks like aloft. I mean, wow. I don't know. Maybe it'll suck the other supercell in. I don't know what it's doing, honestly. It's very intriguing, though. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's spinning all the way up to the top of the column there that the radar beam can shoot. So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. It's like a 90 knot.
It's kind of what I was thinking, too. Let's see here.
Bunch of lightning.
Yeah, it looks pretty. Man, that's a pretty serious looking couplet there still, though. Weird looking couplet, too. SIGTORs down there right around that storm are still running about 8. So it's just wild to see it continue trying to spin down there. Oh boy.
What's happening over here in the heartland of Alabama? Hueytown, Bessemer, about to get wet. You folks over there about to get wet. Even I'm about to get wet. I gotta go flip my canoe over.
Yeah, I see. It's expanding up that way. Finally, it looks like all that stuff that forcing maybe kind of congealing up. See, the whole thing unzip up that way too. It's about time. It's about time. 11:03 hours early.
So they want to do thunder for that other storm.
Yeah. Let's see.
Did you hear the voice of God in your ear?
Sure did. I think so.
God just said, I hope it rains in the Carolinas.
That's what I thought I heard, too.
Yep.
Chance of that happens, the same chance as South Carolina winning the College World Series, I think. Oh, that hurt, didn't it?
Kind of hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt.
Arnie, Man, you're gonna be sad because you're gonna get overturned and
buddy.
bull rushed in the SEC from now on. Oh my goodness! I tell you what's funny. I was looking at the schedule crap that they put out for 2024. Alabama and Auburn play each other in the middle of the year.
Oh, really?
Oh man, this new schedule with this new conference crap. There's no conferences anymore.
Yeah.
It's just the top two in the conference. There's no East and West. And then like Mississippi State. Now I'm not going to complain about this. Mississippi State doesn't play Alabama, Auburn, or Oklahoma
At all?
at all on the schedule. So if they win out against teams, they don't play LSU either.
Oh my God! How did that happen?
They could win the SEC if they were to look up and beat one of them in the championship game.
So just one place too?
That's it. Top two. You got to play 8 conference games and 1 Power 5 opponent. Just one.
And you know FSU Clemson's coming over next year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they keep saying they are. I don't know.
Oh, and Ole Miss and State and the Egg Bowl's being played in the middle of the year too.
Wow.
I mean, it's like they're messing up all the rivalry.
Yeah, Thanksgiving without the Alabama Auburn game is going to be weird.
I'm hoping to see something change there.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see something change there. We'll see if it lasts, but
I just can't. I'm so excited about my Mets. I'm such a huge Mets fan. It does, doesn't it? This one? Yeah. Got his mouth open and what's going on here?
oh boy. Let's see what we got here.
Brett, the voice of God just said that.
I heard what God said. I don't think he was on the stream. He's not streaming across, is he? Your audio's not piped in. Okay, I forgot. He's playing producer.
He said this looks like as his drone is going down and out of sight for the last time.
He just sent me a message and said he was about to put it up as the incoming storms come across the area, which I kind of was thinking about doing it too. But I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm going to risk my drone for I mean, there's not even anything severe coming through. There's some lightning, there's some lightning.
No. And this thing, if this thing was going to have produced a large tornado, it would have done it by now.
Yeah, I think we'll wait here for a few more minutes and see if it's going to reorganize. Me personally, though, I think we can kind of, start beginning to wind down. There's going to be a threat of severe thunderstorms. There's going to be a threat of large hail. There's going to be a threat of quick tornadoes, one or two of which could even be strong at this point. Just am not seeing evidence that we're going to get anything long track. It's having a hard time holding itself together. It has the whole time since we've been here. Really, if you think about the time that we've been here for the last couple of hours, it's literally only moved like east a single county. And that usually doesn't bode well for tornado production either. Sometimes these things like to move, especially in the south. 20-mile-an-hour storm motions out in the plains is great. Down here, not so much. And I think our instability is starting to kind of get eaten into a little bit. But those winds veering back along the river too. Again, that marks the end of the severe threat from, again, Memphis down to almost Grenada, Mississippi now. Down to Greenville, they're out of the west. Bastrop, Louisiana is out of the west behind that severe thunderstorm warning. Still out of the south, down around Jackson, but this boundary is going to rush toward the coastline. That's where it's going to end up tomorrow. And all this activity is going to push toward the east and southeast with time. So we're going to see all this, again, heavy rain, thunderstorms, lightning, some hail. Once all this congeals, lightning, heavy rain, and damaging wind is going to be main threat. And the cat, I see the cat back there is having a great time. Hold on just a minute. What's that cat's name?
Ivy, poison ivy.
Well, we've got a black cat now too, named Binks. Hold on just a minute.
I got a Binks.
Yeah,
but
this is
poison
Binksy.
ivy.
Ah, oh, you got another one. All right, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Just hang out for just a second.
The more people keep dropping them on my front porch, the more I end up with.
Yeah, you're gonna be the angry cat lady before the end of the day.
Jarvis,
give me just a second. I'll be right back. Let me go grab his cat.
You're gonna be doing stupid cat tricks. Well, 'cause he makes this noise. It's almost like a farting noise. It's like she can't hold her bowel more when you start doing that. And it's like, oh my God, Brett.
Oh
That's
shit!
not a cat.
I brought a tiger instead.
I'm pretty
God,
sure
I
that's
couldn't
a
find
person.
her. But... Come here, Max. Hey, Max. Speak. Look. Talk. Do something. Max.
What up,
Look
Max?
at the screen, dude. You're like ticked. Come here. I'm trying to give you some airtime, and you're screwing it up. Come here. He likes so. This is a crazy thing. So we do a lot of office work in here. He likes to lick the stamp stuff that's on the back, the sticky stuff. So he likes to get the whole roll of stamps, and he'll literally like take that crap and drag them all across the room and lick it. He's a crackhead for stamps, I think. So, Max, see, he's on the look. He's on the desk now. Max, he's got the stamps in his mouth. Dude, think I'm kidding? Look at him. He's ticked. Max, you can't have my stamps. Swear to God. Max, you want to get up here? That's fine. You can't take the stamps, you idiot. Hold on. Give them back. You can't leave. Give me the stamps. Ow, you little. Come on. You want them? Come get them.
Tornado on the ground.
See? Look. See? Yeah, right there. That's you. See that? Look. You can't have them.
Don't put them in front of my face.
Like a meth head for stamps.
Oh, Lord.
Now I'm going to stick these up. No, you're going to get up here with me.
My lung is in my mouth.
We get back over here. Gosh, swear. Max, now sit down.
Oh, my God.
You get up here. You get up here. No.
At least give it enough postage to leave your house.
I swear, put you in a box.
It wants to live somewhere else.
I don't know that he wants
Give it
that.
enough to go somewhere else.
He literally jumped all over me all day, slept in my lap for like 18 hours. Get up here, dude. Come on. Yeah, I hear you meowing. You got something you want to say? Here, say it. Meow. I think that's what he's been saying all of his life. You want to say something? Here, say it, buddy. Here, oh, don't get down. God.
Oh my
It
God.
never fails.
Okay.
Max. Jesus. Anyway, cats, man.
Anyway.
Cats. See what I got going on here.
You get down.
The bolts are crazy. I guess it's catnip stank. Let's see what we got here. I see the cat. Central Mississippi, down into the metro area, I do believe Jackson's out of the woods. So there's that. I heard some beeping. I don't know what that was. I'm trying to see if there's any extension to the warning before my cat goes over here and goes, "Get off the desk!" They're not there. Ha ha ha. Quit sniffing my printer. Give it back. Give them back. Want 'em? Come get them. That stupid.
That's like
He's gonna
$30
fight
worth.
'em. He's like literally. Look at him. He's so focused.
That
What
cat's
is
got
it? Why? I mean,
issues.
Golly.
Oh.
You're a cat, not like a punk teenager. You didn't sniff paint or glue in high school. Come on.
At least 3 of the 4 living things on camera right now need therapy.
Yeah, I see that.
See?
Come on. God, anyway, sorry. I mean, I didn't mean to go into stamp mode over here. Yeah, you. Uh-huh.
What's his
Your
name
owner's
again?
gonna get you. His name's Max.
Max.
Yeah, he's my cat. He's like, when I'm on the road, he literally will watch the live stream and slap the stupid iPad until the audio will start. Like, I got video of it. It's pretty comical.
Oh.
Because he gets like mad at the world when I leave. Because I think he hates everybody else here. Which, I mean, it makes sense. There's days I hate everybody here too, Max. But, I mean, see, he's like looking. He's like, literally, he's cracked out over here. What's wrong with you? I don't know what they fed my cat while I was gone. Well, look. I mean, he's over here trying to steal everything off the printer. He's looking. I mean, look at him. He's looking straight up at everybody. Hey, yeah, you're on candid camera. Look. Look. See? There you are. See that? That's you. Oh, he's huge.
He's taking classified information off the
Look
printer.
at him. He's ticked.
Mm.
He's straight looking at me like, what the? Come here. You want to get pets? Max.
I wish I had a way to send you something right
Max,
now.
come here. Max, come here, buddy. Come over here. Yeah, come back. Anyway, that's all for Cat Did Camera tonight. Killing me,
Mine's
man.
wore
Killing
down
me.
now.
Well, oh my God. Dude, if you could have felt that. Max.
They'll leave him alone. He's happy there. He's happy there.
Yeah, look at him. He's just chilling now. You chilling?
I know.
Well, just give it a minute. It won't take long.
Rip
He's
that
getting
off.
ticked. He knows that he's on camera, and I don't think he likes it. Oh, here we go. Max. I mean, he's like 16 pounds. So,
16
Anyway.
pounds.
yeah, these cats around here are not
Big as a
small.
turkey.
Yeah, he knows it too. He beats the other cats around here. He's like
What is that?
looks stupid to me. What is that? Oh, that's that little area up there we've been watching.
I don't know that one.
Me neither, Alexa. Who was that?
What'd she say?
Was that your Alexa?
Uh-uh.
Was that mine?
That's your cat talking.
Probably went over and pushed a button. Max, come here, buddy.
That's your cat trying to tell you.
Look at you. Max, come here. He doesn't want to look. He knows he's on camera. Come here, buddy. We're watching tornado warnings. You want to... He's probably trying to find the next thing he can bite or steal.
Probably.
Oh, snap. Oh, Meowcast. That's right. Look at him. He's like, what am I going to do? Max, there's not a lot in the way of active tornadic stuff other than that one warning just north of Bay Springs. One store.
Are you telling this to Max or me?
I'm telling Max.
Oh.
Gotta let him know what's going on.
Look at this amoeba-looking thing. Just kind of, I don't know that that's not a mothership.
Oh, I bet it is.
I think that's
aliens. Oh, Matt, you. Stamps are a gateway drug to envelopes. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, Max likes the glue from Stamps. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I didn't do it.
Hold on 1 second.
Apparently, there's a big shelf coming down.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, Lordy. Dadgum.
That's what I said. Dadgum. Honestly, I don't know.
You done? Now I got a headache from laughing so hard.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give y'all a headache. Max is down here looking at me like he's going to murder me. He wants to stream me.
He probably is.
Trying to keep it on to keep my life at this point. That looks very ragged. You know.
Yeah.
I think the main thread is kind of ending, guys. I don't know what you think. We can look at that tornado warning one more time. Over toward Lewin. It's going to cross 15. Just not seeing really any good indications of a tornado there. Seeing pretty good indications of hail, though. Going to head toward 503. Let's see. Going to move up Highway 18 over toward Penalty Rose Hill. Verba over in that area is already getting in on that act. And again, right there near Lewin and Monrose. Is that Monrose? Montrose. I'm sorry, Montrose. Got blocked by a lightning bolt there. Get out of the freaking Stamps. God. And the checks. You don't have invoices to cut checks for. Stop. I swear he needs to cut me a check. I'm broke. Let's see. 15. Highway 15. Sorry about that. It's a catastrophe over here currently.
Catastrophic is what it is.
Yep, catastrophic damage possible by this large hail across portions of Mississippi. Looks like the tornado threat is diminishing overall to me. Damaging winds, hail, lightning. This last tornado warning goes up in about 30 minutes. The Weather Service indicates. Have they issued an update? Yeah, they issued one about 15 minutes ago. So, oh, wow. I need to go out and drone this lightning, I think. It's getting close.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I mean, look at that big glob coming to me up there.
Yep. All right. Well, I think the threat is winding down some. That tornado warning there in Mississippi is probably at this point, I think it's going to be one of the last of the night, at least in the near term. So I think we can just about kind of sign off. Again, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, the Florida coast, and into Georgia are going to deal with some thunderstorms overnight, lightning, hail, all that good stuff, possibly some damaging winds. Isolated tornadoes still possible. And I think I'm just going to let David close it out here because I think that's kind of the gist of it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, everything you just said is what I like, and I agree with you. Love your cat. That's got to be a regular from now on.
Well, he's mad. Look, he's over here chewing on plastic now. I don't really know what's going on. Max, come here. Stop. That's why I can't leave. He steals jewelry. He'll take jewelry off of off the dresser, and you'll find it in a dryer vent or a air vent. I mean, necklaces
all
are
this
not
time
safe.
you thought Heath was stealing the jewelry, and it was the cat.
It was the cat. It was always a cat. It's always a cat. I mean, I've got a gun over here somewhere. I'm glad he can't pull the trigger. I mean,
all right, I can't. My head's killing me. So,
if I had a
yeah,
head
it was
look like
good. It was
that, would
fun.
kill me too.
Thank you for all your questions, your pertinent questions. I don't think I didn't answer any of them. I think Brett did, though. Brett got quite a few of them in there, and we really, really appreciate it. We want to thank our director, the voice of God, in both of our ears. And B. Dean Perry was with us for a while tonight. Or at least I've seen him every once in a while off into the picture. Wave.
Max cameo also.
And and we'll go out with the kitty cat up on the chair there and tell you that if something else happens, we'll let you know somehow. Probably tomorrow we'll give you video of it. It's what we'll end up doing because Brett's really good with video. But anyway, everybody have a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow again. Hope you have a good one. Hope you had a nice Father's Day, by the way. Brett, happy Father's Day. I didn't tell you happy Father's Day.
You too. You too.
And,
She can say one of my
Jarvis,
sons
happy
here.
Father's Day, dude. And that's what we've heard. So we'll talk to y'all tomorrow again. Ola, and have a good night.